So you've gone from builder to business owner. You've stepped off the tools. You're working on the business. You might be in the office for 2-3 days a week, and you're really only visiting sites to make sure the guys are on time, to budget, and to quality standard. You've taken the step from being a busy builder to being a business owner, but what is next? You might find yourself jumping into the office going, I don't actually know what I'm meant to be spending my time on. I know I'm meant to be working on the business, but what does that even look like? What does my job description look like now? I've gone from making money on an hourly rate, I charge myself out at X, Y, or Z dollars an hour, to now working in this vague, esoteric, kind of like random role. Like, how do I make money? Where does the cash flow come from? And will I break even, make more money, or will this actually make any sense at all? I'm here to help you understand exactly what it looks like when you take that transitionary step from working in the business to on the business as the owner of a residential construction company. So over the next 4 videos, I'm going to walk you through really quickly the levers of business and how to maintain your minimum margins, the most important number in your business. Your PBR and the most important list in your business is number 2. Your A to Z, the who and the how leverage points to running a residential construction company. And then lastly, the same page plan, your PSR, and then how you repeat the vision to make sure you attract the best talent in the market. So stay along for these 4 sessions. These are the 4 that you're going to want to unpack if you're looking to build a resilient, well-systemized, profitable, and predictable building company that's not just a busy job with overheads, but one that actually gives you both more time and more money. Let's jump into it. So it's the most important number in your business, and it is your gross profit margin. All things come from your gross profit, and high margin businesses ultimately win the game because from your margin, we pay the overhead to the company, the cost of running the business. So things like your salary, your phone bill, your insurances, your vehicle costs, your admin, your fuel, your other team members for people that are off the tools and helping to run the business, like your pricing, your estimating, potentially any project management, maybe an income split with your significant other, all the stuff that helps to run an effective, efficient, and resilient building company, that comes from your gross profit. And your net profit comes from your gross profit. The bonus for being a business owner, what's left over at the end. Now, the reason that this is the most important number in business is A, because it pays for both of these 2 things, and B, because it can have the biggest impact on your time, your headspace, on your profitability, and on ultimately the success of your building company. And I want to outline that today with the impact that 1% margin can have on your business, and 2, how you can actually improve and impact your margin and how it is your job description when you take that step from being builder to business owner. So let's have a look over at this spreadsheet. Now this spreadsheet is available for download. You can get your hands on a copy. And when you get the link, all you need to do is come up to File, make a copy, and download it as your own. Or if you don't use Google Sheets, you can download a copy as an actual Excel file. So let me zoom in and make sure it's really visible and we can all see what we're working on. So what we would do, and the way that we would use this with our members, is we would fill in your existing financial results. Now, as you can see in this existing example, we're hitting a gross profit of $800,000. And the reason that this is a really important number is because it pays for your fixed costs or your overheads, and it pays for your profit, your net profit, the amount left over that comes out to the bottom of the business. Now, we add these 2 together, and then in this example, that comes to $800,000. Now, at 17% margin, that means that we need to turn over $4.7 million in projects. If the average contract size is $500,000, that means that we need to complete 9.5 projects annually, okay? Assuming that we convert 50% of the quotes or the bids that we submit, that means that we need to quote or bid almost 19 projects annually. Now, we're working on a 10-month year here for marketing and sales purposes because holidays, slow periods, you get the idea. That means that we need to generate about we need to quote, or bid about 19 projects, annually. and that we need to generate 1.9 or 2 leads a month that are $500,000 or bigger. Hopefully this is making sense. If it doesn't, then hit rewind, go back and watch the last 2 minutes of me walking through this. But this might be, for argument's sake, where we sit today. Let me zoom out a little bit further and we can work out where we sit 12 months from now. Maybe we're aiming for the same financial outcome, but we want to buy back our time, reduce our working hours, and have generally less stress, improve the efficiencies. Well, we can do that by changing just a single number, okay? And that number is your gross profit margin. Now, are you a business owner running a residential construction company? If so, save the date. On Thursday and Friday, May the 22nd and the 23rd, we're running our Builders Summit at the Park Hyatt in Auckland. It's the biggest business summit for building company owners in the country. Across 11 expert sessions, we'll show you exactly how to either tweak or overhaul and transform your business into a profitable, streamlined building company. You'll get access to breakthrough strategies that have already helped over 3,000 of our residential members grow their businesses. Plus, just by being in the room, you get over $2,500 in extra bonus resources that you can implement into your business. We've got 100 seats. Many of those are reserved for our members, but you might be able to claim one of the few remaining. What you need to do is go to www.builderssummit.co.nz or click the links below and we'll take you directly there. It's very easy for me to sit here and tell you to, hey, do less work, just do it at a higher margin and you'll make the same amount of money. It's like, no shit, Sherlock. Of course that's going to work. But it's be like a coach telling their team to score more goals. It's like, what do you think I'm trying to do out there? How? How do I score more goals? How do I improve my margin? Well, I'm going to share and show you in just a moment. But first, I want to drive home this point. We're going to make the same financial outcome, and we're going to do it with $700,000 less revenue annually and 1.5 projects fewer annually. We're going to need to price, what's that, 6, 7, 8, almost 3 jobs less a year, and we're going to need to generate half a job fewer in marketing every single year. And that's just because we've improved, every month. That's because we've improved our margin from 17 to 20%. Okay? You can see here that if we set that at 19%, 1% margin is equal to an extra $210,000 in required revenue annually. It's a lot of revenue. We could come down here and to work out where our break-even point is going to be. And basically what we're looking at is 1% margin is the equivalent of an entire month's break-even cash flow. Okay? So in theory, if we improve our margin by 1%, we buy ourselves back about 20 working days, like a whole month of revenue generating time. So I know what I'd do with 30 days of extra time back. Personally, I would spend time with my wife. I would play some more golf, and I'd probably maybe do a little bit of side hustle and business venture in terms of a development, or at least explore a lot more of that. For you, it could be anything. It could be going on holiday. It could be working on your own home. It could be, heaven forbid, picking up your hobby again. But the point is this: the most important number in your business is your margin, and you have 8 margin levers available to you to improve your margin. 4 before the project start and 4 during the project. So if you go in and your margin's already at 25%, but you come out at 20%, you're experiencing what we call margin creep, margin erosion. And that's because through a job, the margin is getting eroded away or creeping away because of many potential aspects. But these are the 4 big culprits and the 4 that we want to start and rally around. And that is controlling labor, materials, subtrades, and variations/change orders. Okay, most of the time there are not good systems in place to control change orders and variations. They're getting missed, they're not getting priced correctly, or they're not even getting collected on. Secondly, it's controlling materials. Okay, are we renegotiating during a job? Are we able to make sure that there's no wastage? Or is there a lot of cock-ups on site? Next is subtrades. Are we, again, making sure that we're efficient? We're not mucking around the timelines, and we're not making sure that subtrades are not doing a correct handover process or quality control. And then most importantly, the biggest variable to our profitability is going to be our labor. Its efficiency, its quality, and whether it's on track or off track to the job that we have quoted. And we're going to want to do and install a couple of simple processes across the board here, from top 15 tasks for a foreman, daily stand-ups, sub-trade handover checklists, making sure that we have POs and purchase order agreements in place, and we're looking at variations or a changeover process, even administration fee in our contracts. So we have 151 ways that you can improve your profitability, okay? And you should be checking out that checklist. But if we zoom out, and if you've taken the step from being a builder to a business owner, then one of your aspects that you're going to need to adopt is to control the back-end margin via these 4 levers with people and with process. So your job is now to improve the people, so the training and the accountability, and the process, the tool or the resource that they use to control labor, variations, materials, and subtrades. Now, if you're going into a job at low margins, but you're managing to maintain the margin through a job, you've got a pretty good back end. It could be maybe because you're still on the tools, or perhaps you were doing a lot of the stuff. We can cross that bridge when we get to it. But ultimately, you've got a good economic output and a good financial business. You just might not be selling the projects or doing a good enough job at converting leads at good margins heading into a project. So maybe you're going in at like 15% and you're coming out at 15%, right? So you're protecting your profits, okay, but there's just not actually much or any profit to start with, all right? Let me make sure I go back. I think I might have broken something. That's all good. So here, as you can see, the difference between doing doing everything at 15% margin, the difference between at 20% margin is $1.3 million in revenue here. That's an absolute heap, okay? So 5% margin is $1.3 million in revenue and a difference of 2.5 projects a year. Absolutely wild. So if you're going in at low margins, then the 4 levers on the front that we want to pull and push are pricing, positioning, sales, and marketing. Let me explain. So pricing is pretty easy. It's the quickest route to success. Not always the most efficient, okay, or effective, but all you need to do is raise your prices, okay? And I know that's like kind of telling people to score more goals on the field, and you're probably going, what do we think? Cool story, bro. Like, how do I do that? Well, you do it with the next 3 levers that you've got available to you, which is positioning, sales, and marketing. So positioning is really easy. What it looks like is positioning is, how do we position you in the marketplace where people go, look, I don't care how long I have to wait or what it's going to cost. I want to work with you. I want you as my builder, right? This comes from positioning yourself not as a generalist, heck, not even as the specialist, but as the trusted advisor. And by the end of the sales process, the celebrity in people's homes, and they want you to do, and your company to do their project for them. I've got a whole training from Professional Builder on exactly how to position yourself as the trusted advisor and as the celebrity. Okay, but this is one of the key levers that you have available to yourself. And then we can use this lever in conjunction with your sales process and your marketing. So more leads, marketing just means that you get to pick and choose from a larger pool of people. And if you've got 5 leads to price and to quote from them, they all say, dude, you're a bit expensive, then you're going to probably feel like you've got to drop your margins. But if you've got 25 leads to choose from, because you've got a much more effective and efficient marketing method going on, then you can like, dude, expensive, not a problem. It's all good. I got 20 more leads to quote. So, you do you and I'll do me, sort of thing. It's a much easier position to say no to the question of how sharp's your pencil if you've got a more volume of leads. Then the final lever you got available to you is your sales process. So the ability to take someone from cold to pre-sold, pre-sold to sold via a sales process where marketing does the heavy lifting and educates people as why they should choose you over anybody else. Perhaps it goes through a preliminary proposal agreement. Perhaps it goes through an information pack that pops up and is delivered to their site prior to their site visit. Perhaps it goes through a meet the team, how we work with you, your guarantee, your case studies, your testimonials, and your preferred partners. But ultimately, we need a sales process. So let's recap this really quickly. The most important number in your business is your margin. As you can see, the difference between just 5% margin here is $1.3 million in required revenue to achieve the same financial outcome. For most people, a 1% margin improvement would be the difference between 100 and upwards $1,000 in extra required revenue annually to hit the same financial outcomes. Now, you can plug your numbers into this dashboard by yourself by downloading it in the link below, or you can do it one-on-one with our coaches and your financials in confidence as part of our game plan training. All you need to do to register for a game plan is to follow the link and then make sure that you have a quick conversation so we can pair you with the right coach for your situation and stage of business, and then submit your financials so that we can review it and give really detailed and accurate feedback. It's completely free and no obligation. To take advantage of that, you just need to follow the link below. Okay, that's takeaway number one. Takeaway number two is that as you transition from builder to business owner, your job description becomes that of improving the 8 margin levers, controlling pricing, positioning, sales, and marketing, and then making sure that during a job you can control labor, materials, sub-trades, and variations/change orders. So these are your 8 aspects of your job description as a business owner running a residential construction company so that you can improve the most important number in your business, your margin. Hey, so that's step 1 of 4. In the next following videos, I'm going to be covering off your PBR, your stop doing list, your A to Z of operations, the who and the how, your same page plan, the PSR, problem solution recommendation, and how to train problem solving with your team. So if you've made that step from builder to business owner, follow along for more. Otherwise, here's to your success and here's to seeing you build a resilient, profitable, predictable, and well-systemized building company, not just a busy job with overheads. Till next time, Owen Chambers from the Professional Builder signing out. Cheers.